Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Stupid Gun Myths. I'm Mike B, coming at you from Mommy's basement, and today we're going to be talking about a fun subject of where a lot of these stupid gun myths actually start. And from, looking at everybody's comments and stuff, a lot of you guys are going to agree with me, but there's also going to be a fucking ton of Jimmies that are going to be rustled for all the hero worshippers out there that are very prevalent on the intranet. Basically, one of the biggest spots for these stupid fucking myths are actually veterans, the military. Here's the thing. Before we get started with that kind of shit, like the origins and the examples and kind of some common sense truth grenade shit, I'm not dissing, I'm not being disrespectful to our heroes. They're veterans and they're put them on a pedestal. They're sort of godlike. So before we get started, I'm going to preface this with I am a veteran myself. I was in Iraq in 2009. I don't care. I treat it like a job. It's just relevant because I know there'll be a bunch of people, oh, you fat fuck, you never had the balls to do it yourself. Yeah, I did. It's done. It's been done. It's nice to be back. I use the benefits. It's cool. But that also gives me a different kind of perspective, and it'll prove my point even more. So, if you made it past all this without getting all whiny and butthurt, this is what I've got. So, basically, it seems that people take people's words who are in the military, we'll say vets, they take them as gospel. Like, oh, you were in the military, so you must know everything about firearms. That's kind of the mentality of a toddler at that point, if you think about it. So just because somebody drives a car, does that mean they know everything about cars? Just because somebody's driven one to work for the past 20 years, do they know everything about cars? I know people that think headlight fluid's a fucking thing and they're in their 40s. So, no. Just because somebody has been in the military does not a firearm expert make them. And I can attest to this perfectly because when I was in, there were people who did believe the stupid ammo interchangeability myth and they perpetuated it. It wasn't my cadre, it was just other people. There's a lot of people, too, that didn't know what caliber an AK-47 or an AKMS or whatever the hell you want to call it, AK variant, fired at them. AK-74, they didn't know, like, anything. They didn't know the size of the artillery, the rockets, and the mortars and all this shit that was being used. Some of them barely even knew the caliber of a frickin' M16 or M4 or M249 or 240 Bravo. A lot of people don't just know things like that because they don't have to deal with them every single day, and they don't have to know. You need to know that the smaller, pointier ones go in this gun and the 249, and the bigger, longer ones go in the 240 Bravo, and then the really big ones go in the 50 cal, or what's they call it, the 50 cal. It's the M2, the Browning heavy barrel machine gun, and that's really all you need to know is for standard small arms weaponry. Oh, and grenades too. But those are the really big ones. Those are the big bullets, that really fat bullets that go in that little tube on the bottom of my gun. Anyway, that's just an example. They don't know the difference. They think that some of these things are 223 when actually they're chambered in 5.56 NATO. And you don't have to be a firearms expert. You just have to know how to use it, maintain it, and make sure it works. You don't have to know it's got a 1 in 7 twist on an M4 or an M16A2, and some of you don't have to know the twist rate. You don't have to be a firearms expert to use it, just like you don't have to be an expert on vehicles to drive a car. You just have to know how to make them work and basically put gas in it, right? Make them work, and then when they have a problem, you turn them into somebody else that actually does it for a living. Same thing with firearms, and just because So the World War II thing, we'll go back to there really quick. The whole, they would, I heard World War II vets say that they would ping the M1 clip on their helmet and the Japanese and the Germans would pop up and then they'd shoot them right on the spot there. And they said it, so it's got to be true. Well, as a vet myself, I have heard other vets who I was with fabricate, or maybe they just didn't remember things, but they fabricated complete bullshit and they talked about it like with an air of confidence, and people just took their word for it because they were over there. They know, and it was a complete. I forgot exactly what the hell the rumor was, and I don't really want to call that person out. So, but yeah, I've heard it, I've witnessed it, and I was like, that never fucking happened. Like, there's no way. It doesn't make any sense. But it sounds cool. You saw it in a movie, or maybe you just remembered it wrong because human memories are not that great. And that was like 10 years ago. Now we're talking to somebody that was in World War II, and that's 75, almost 80 years ago. And it's not that they're lying and they're trying to be malevolent, and you know, some people are just dicks. They're dicks before they join the military. They're assholes while they're in the military, and then they become an even bigger asshole when they get out because they think it makes them special. There's some people that just suck, right? And it doesn't matter if you were in the military. There are assholes in the military. There are assholes who are vets. It just is the way it is. They're human beings, right? It's a job. I'm getting kind of ranty here, but I'm just trying to explain that just because somebody says something doesn't make it true. And with the M1 thing, with the ping on the helmet, I won't even get into Grand Thumb because it's just like a rite of passage. Oh, I've gotten it. They said it happened, so it did, and whatever. I'm not even going to touch that one, but I'll get on the topic of that M1 ping on the helmet thing, and I'm actually going to make a video on that. But as an example, that generally didn't start becoming a thing that World War II vets said until like the 1950s. So we're talking almost 10 years after the war ended. I don't know, maybe some people were, drinking one night and like, yeah, hey, we should have done that, and somebody heard them, and maybe it started out as a joke, but then it became a rumor, and now it's a legendary myth that was really dumb. I mean, of course, it might have happened once or twice, but just, again, use common sense. The Japanese were not stupid. The Germans were not stupid. They're not just going to run out of their position of cover because they hear a ping, then one guy's out when there's several others, unless they know there's only one guy left, and then they're still not going to fall for that bullshit because they didn't hear the last shot. Anyway, I'll make that video. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, a lot of people just take the word of the World War II, but, oh, they're heroes, we gotta respect. It's like they can never be wrong. Well, if you have some sort of intelligence in your head and you have, rational thought, like, it makes the human brain pretty cool, you would kind of get past that hero worship bullshit and question things. And it's okay to question things. You should question things. You should question me. You should question everything. And just because somebody, was a hero, and we have to see, I'm not a big fan of the hero worship culture bullshit in the United States. I don't know how it is in other countries, but again, just because somebody was in the military doesn't make them an expert or a hero or a nice person at all. And yeah, I'm going to catch a lot of flack for saying this, but you know what? Fuck it. It's true. Like, you can bitch and complain and whine about it all you want, but it's true. So when we're talking about myths like this, yeah, when I was basically 95% of the people in my company didn't know what caliber their M4s fired. They just knew which ammo went to what. And there was people that didn't know anything about the foreign weaponry, the calibers, the cartridges, the different styles of weapons. They couldn't identify, like a PKM from an AK. They couldn't do that. And because you don't have to. So just because somebody says, I was in the Marines, I was eating no, I won't go there. I was in the Marines, or I was a SEAL Scout Sniper Force Recon Delta Force Chuck Norris, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, and then they say that, and I'm right because I was in the military. You should probably check their sources, because I never use that excuse and that shit and that reason unless it's totally relevant. Like, oh, the only time I've seen a 107 millimeter Katyusha rocket was in Iraq, and you bring it up with there, and so that's how I know what they look like in real life. And so that's an example of when it's relevant. But if they say, oh, it's the M16 or whatever is this way because I was in the Marines and this is the way they told us, it was made by Mattel, it's made out of plastic, that shit, stupid shit like that. You're not an expert just because you were in the military. Sorry, unless you were like a gun person before you got in, joined, loved it, learned more while you were in because you can constantly learn about stuff, and you don't use that excuse as kind of a credentials for your knowledge. You could just say, hey, I know this, this, and this because I've liked firearms my whole life, and I've done research and talked to people who know more than I do, and this is what I've come up with, this is what I've seen as a fact, this is what I don't know yet. Just be intelligent about it, basically. So yeah, it is what it is. That's all I've really got for this rant video. And we'll see how the comments go. This should be a dumpster fire, but I mean, you guys have to know that a lot of this shit's, I'm saying it in a sarcastic way. I don't mean it to be super rude or mean. It's just kind of funny. But yeah, my position still stands on just because somebody was in the military doesn't make them an expert on everything firearm related. And these myths, just because they come from veterans' mouths, nope, it doesn't make them true. So as much as you want them to be, because they're all heroes and whatnot, they're still human beings. All right, I think I've said that enough, but I know some people will still be bitching and whining and, oh God. Anyway, so thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the new subs I've been getting lately and a lot of the cool people that have been commenting with some funny shit. Keep it up. I'll keep making these videos as long as you guys keep telling me stupid fucking gun myths. And yeah, I also consider becoming a supporter on Patreon. That really helps the channel out. Get cool props like magazines and retro lowers and stuff like that for building sweet things and going out and making shooting videos. It's $1 a month, buys you in, $12 a year. It's a couple cups of coffee. And if you do the $5 a month or more level, you get access to my Discord server, which is really fun. Anyway, it helps support the channel. My current patrons are awesome. I really appreciate that. It's pretty interactive, and they've allowed me to get some really cool stuff that's coming to benefit the channel and teach you guys about really cool things. So consider becoming a supporter on there. If not, I totally get it, and I just appreciate you watching. And let me know what you think in the comments. This one ought to be a fucking doozy. But all right, we'll see you on the next episode of Stupid Fucking Gun Myths.